Can you talk about the difficult production that Nimona's films faced?
Nimona was an exceptional graphic novel that we all fell in love with the moment we read it, and there's so much world building in the story material that the first hardship was trying to figure out which story to tell, and once we realized it was really focusing in on the characters of Ballister and Nimona, gave us a great idea of how to proceed. It had been going in development for a number of years before Nick and I stepped in on it, but then we had about a year and a half to turn it around. We came up with a great story that we loved and the studio was really enjoying, and then the very sad and unfortunate news that Disney was going to be closing this Blue Sky Studios came down, and we were crushed because we felt like we had just the perfect version of this movie finally. But luckily, we found an amazing partner in Megan Ellison and Anna Perna, and great partners at Netflix, and we found a new studio in DNEG Animation, and we got the chance to set the movie back up and finish it again. It was a little tricky making it twice, but we're so happy with the movie and so happy that it got made and is out in the world.
What is the message that Nimona wants to convey?
The message Nimona wants to convey is that this is a film about acceptance. It's getting to know people for who they really are. We live in a world where I think we approach people and a lot of things with a lot of bias, what other people think, what other people say. And you wouldn't want people to make up opinions about you. You'd want them to get to know you. So that's very important for us in this film. It's truly about acceptance.
How do you co-direct a movie?
Well, it's really important to make sure that you are listening and being considerate of the other.
And just be as annoying as you can.
Yeah, and we all know there's usually one more talented. No.
It's usually the taller one.
From the waist.
Yeah, if we're sitting down, he's significantly taller. No, honestly, the best way to co-direct is, we're each other's first audience. Yeah. Is make each other laugh, make each other cry, make each other think, and just try to pressure treat the work as you're doing it.
Yeah, and just remember that it's really about the material, less than anything else. And it's finding the right partner to make sure that you have the chance, someone who respects you, and
that's right, somebody.
Yeah, no, it really is. Just making sure that you're on the same page, communication, and when you disagree, which isn't that often, that you just try and make sure that you don't do that in front of everybody, so that you're giving clear communication to your crew.
It's like parenting.
Which we're both excellent at. My kids are amazing and very well adjusted.
And mine are in jail.
Can you tell us about the origins of the character Nimona?
Yeah, I mean, this character just started showing up in my sketchbooks a lot at the time. I was in my very early 20s or very late teens at the time. I was an art student. Things were not going particularly well for me at the time. I think a lot of kids around that age probably have a similar experience where, you just have no idea who you are and you're trying to make your way through the world, and it's hard. It's hard to find yourself. And this character was a way of doing that. She had this energy that I wanted for myself, and she really evolved on the pages of my sketchbook, and she evolved into a webcomic, and then from there into a graphic novel, and many years later, now she's a movie. And it's pretty cool that moment of kind of teenage feeling lost and alone can now be something that speaks to so many, hopefully, other young people, and makes them not feel so alone as well.
Since there are so many animators working on a movie, how do you keep the animation consistent throughout the film?
It's lots of planning and lots of communication. Nick and Troy were really, really good about making sure that everyone understood that part of the story that they were animating, and that scene and that shot, what came before and what after. And we leave lots of room for questions and discussion to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing at what point in the story with what character before we start animating. And that way everyone's clear.
How do you communicate the deep emotions and feelings of Nimona's story through animation?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it starts with understanding the story, not just how you see it, but how the directors see it, how the creator sees it, to get their perspective. Because you might see something and feel differently until you speak and you discuss, and they you can bring to the conversation part of your perspective. Like for me, from an animation standpoint, to be like, oh, I think she's feeling like this here. Is that right or wrong? And they're like, oh, we never thought of that. But yeah, but remember, it started because of this. So it's finding the truth of what is being felt in the story first, and then finding the right technique to be able to convey that honestly and not doing too much if it's not needed.
What are your personal definitions of animation?
The illusion of life.
Pictures that move.
An expression of the human condition in an abstracted way.
Struggling.
Yes, struggling is, part of each answer underneath.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.